loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm Angela, a graphic designer and an illustrator, and today we're going to try something different. There is a growing trend around the design world, 3D and 2D mashup. So I'm going to show you a little bit on how to do that. Hello everyone, future me popping in for just a moment. I am a writer over on Medium, and I want to shout out Medium a little bit. It is a platform, for any of you who don't know, for writers and authors of all kinds and all levels to write about whatever they choose so that they connect with their audience a little bit more, read a bit more about whatever subject you would like. I write about graphic design and illustration, so anything that I don't put in my videos, I go ahead and I write over there onto Medium and I put it up over there. So if any of you want to know a little bit more about the technical side, or if you want to know the golden rules of design or the design trends for every single year, I do write about that over there. I have a few articles that have been published, so if any of you want to learn more, there's the top link in the description for you all to go and check it out. You can go ahead and follow me over there. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to reach 100 followers over there for this month, and I think that we can hit it. Go ahead and check out that link down in the description box. Thank you so much, and let's hop right back into the video. We're gonna make some cute and fun little compositions. Let's dive in to Illustrator. Today, I'm on the desktop. We're going to explore all the 3D options in Illustrator. Let's start with very simple shapes. There's lots of different things that you can do. You go into the top taskbar, you select window, then you can choose 3D and materials, and that is where this window is going to pop up. Now I have a circle with a nice gradient background. Your background can be plain, it doesn't matter. You can make it any color you want. I'm going to choose this sphere, choose Revolve. So this revolves the object around itself and creates this almost pillow effect, if you will. There is options right here. You can see this blue crosshairs option here. You can take this, modify it however you want. We can rotate it. We can rotate it on different axes. In the options panel here under 3D and materials, there is custom rotation, which I'm into right now. There's even an offset. When you do offset, it moves the shape away from itself, if that makes sense. And then there's also lighting. So there's materials and there's lighting. Materials, there's the default material, which we're on, but then there's a fun metallic type material. There's also concrete, canopy, there's natural wood grain. There's so many things in here. Let me expand this so you can see it a bit better. There's gold leaf, there's lots of textures. Ooh, zinc spade. Let's see what that looks like. It's probably gonna be pretty cool. Now, it may take my computer a few moments to catch up. Hopefully it doesn't crash. There we go. All right. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, there's even marble. Let's try marble. Marble looks really cool. I think marble will be the one that we go for. Oh, look at that. And then underneath the marble, there's material properties. So you can change the color, you can change the contrast and the roughness. I personally don't want any roughness on this at all. Take down roughness variation as well. We don't want that. And let's change the vein color to something a little bit deeper. That way we can see it a bit more. Color intensity, let's bring that down. There we go, that's much better. This is like the basics. Let's go to lighting. Now lighting, you're gonna have a lot of different looks with. You can choose the intensity, how intense you want the light to be shown on the object. You can choose the direction. You can have diffuse light, which is light from behind, or you can choose from top left, which is what I'm going to choose. Ambient light intensity, I'm going to increase that very nicely. There we go. That is our first object. I'm going to decrease the size of this just a bit, and let's go back to object, and I'm going to decrease the offset a little bit to make it look more like a ring. There we go. So now we have a ring suspended in midair. Now let's try something a little bit different with the textures. Revolve once again. I'm gonna rotate this one to where it's kind of facing us. There we go. Let me move it over. And these are really easy just to move over. It's your selection tool that's here in the top left panel. I'm going to decrease the size of this one because it's getting a little out of hand. And because we decrease the size, the offset gets a little bit bigger. It's not variable. Now that I have this in place, I want to change the material. Let's make it gold leaf fold. That looks like it's going to be very interesting. Fold variation. I don't want a lot of variation with fold. Let's just do a smooth gold. Let's not have any folds in it. There is green in there as well. I'm going to bring that down. I'm also going to bring the roughness down quite a bit. I don't want a lot of roughness in there at all. Luminosity, I want there to be quite a bit. Let's add some density to this. There we go. Go to lighting. Some nice intense lighting here. We'll increase the intensity to 141%, and the height I'm going to bring down. Duplicate this shape by just pressing Control-C and Control-V on my keyboard, or it's Command-C, Command-V if you're on a Mac. Shrink it down. I'm going to show you something else that we can do. We're going to go back to Object under the 3D and Materials panel. Now that I have this one smaller, I'm actually going to remove some of the revolve angle, and I'm going to rotate this to where we can see it better. I think that looks really quite cool. We see a lot of these type of compositions come into play. I'm going to do something really similar with the first one we did. I'm going to duplicate it. Just Control-C, Control-V on the keyboard, or Command-C, Command-V. Remove some of the revolve down to 20, I think. Shrink this a little bit, and I'm going to rotate it around like this. Now I'm just trying to keep the balance of the composition. This one, I think I want to revolve this a bit more. There we go. That way it looks like that. And then we're going to do something different with these square panels. Now, there are planes in here, like transform them, move them, and such like that. However, I want to extrude this. So let's start with rotating this around. Awesome. All right, so we have it rotated. Make this hollow. So there's a section here that says cap, and cap has the front solid appearance, or it has the hollow appearance. So I can make this hollow. I can also choose a depth, so I can make it disappear. I can make it really deep to where it looks kind of like an air vent, if you will. There we go. We can also change up the lighting. We can make the lighting a lot more intense, rotate the lighting around. For this one, choose inflate. I'm going to increase the depth. Rotate it that way, rotate it upwards. Whoa, that depth is too tall. There we go. Volume, they like to use a lot of volume, but I'm going to decrease the volume a little bit. And as you can see, it kind of almost looks like butter or a loaf of bread. Let me see if I increase the volume a little bit more. There we go. Let's do depth more. There we go. So you can see it kind of starting to look like a loaf of bread, which I think is so funny. Let's go to lighting. Choose diffuse. I'm going to choose a lower intensity, around 34%. The height, I'm going to make it pretty high, just so that the front is pretty much in all shadow. You can go in and modify your shape and round out the corners and make it look more like softer, if you will. I think this is starting to look really quite cute and really nice. This one up here, if you want to select your shape, pull in these little circles here. It rounds out the corners for you so you can have a nice rounded edge. So you can kind of get the start and the basis of where these little compositions get created. It's a lot of fun just to experiment and try things out. Now, if you wanted to have a circle without revolve, if you just want to inflate a circle, let's try that. Put an ellipse like right here in the center. I'm going to hold down Shift to make sure it is completely 100% constrained. Inflate it. I will also zoom in here for you guys. And this makes a perfectly smooth inflated circle. Let's duplicate it. I'm going to bring it over here, make it a little bit smaller, and then we're going to add that gold material to this. Look how cool that looks. I'm gonna bump up the luminosity just a little bit and the contrast just a bit. And now we have a metallic circle as well. And you can change the color. You can get creative with the color. The color, which sits right under here, we can change it from a gold to a gray. And it changes it into like a silver metallic type of color. I also want to change the lighting direction in this. I'm gonna rotate the lighting. Okay, and that is very simple shapes. If we want to do something a little bit more involved and intense, we can take the same concept and the same stages and apply it to a full composition piece. So we have some really cute hearts here. So select the hearts. I'm going to select them both at the same time because we're going to apply the same effects to them. Choose inflate, and they're going to bubble up. It's the cutest thing. Increase the depth of them a little bit, but not too much. For volume, I'm going to leave it all the way at 100%. Oh, they can rotate and revolve. That's really quite cute. There we go. So they kind of make it look like little balloons. For the lighting of these, let's put the lighting to about there. Make the intensity, let's make it about 67. And we can even go in here and change the color of our lighting. So I can make it a light pink if I want, just to add to the cuteness that's going on in this little composition. We can also do the same thing to the speech bubble. I'm going to inflate it. I'm going to make the depth a little bit deeper. Increase the second revolve to 2. There we go. And for the lighting, I'm just going to change the color to a light pink. Let's do the same thing for the hearts because I think the color I chose was too dark. There we go. Much better. I do have 2 little lines of text here. For those, I'm going to change the color of them to white. I'm going to outline my text. Let's inflate this little heart as well. You're probably wondering why I'm inflating all of them. Just because it makes it look so much cuter. It makes it look soft, it makes it look bubbly, it makes it look fun, and it allows for the object to showcase the feeling of being soft and the feeling of wanting to be light and airy. That looks so cute. All right, let's do the same thing for these letters. Inflate them. Let's fix our lighting right away. Rotate it. Looks good. We don't need to rotate them at all, although I do want to add some depth to these. So let's add a little bit of depth to them. There we go. And then I'm going to take this heart that we made before. I'm just going to duplicate it. Again, Control-C, Control-V, or Command-C, Command-V if you're on a Mac. And add little baby ones. And I'm going to change the material of this. I want the material to be, I'm going to use a gold leaf, a nice shiny metallic, but I'm going to change the color of it. I'm going to use the pink. There we go. Oh, that is so cool. You know, it kind of looks like a balloon. Take the depth down a little bit. For the materials, take down the roughness, change the direction of this. Let's take down the depth even more. Let's fix the lighting because the lighting needs to rotate this way, increase the height of it and the softness. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to duplicate it over here. Make it a little bit smaller. This one, let's change the color. Made a little hue shift here, and the hue shift is going to allow the color to morph. That hue shift I put at 0.04, and the saturation I'm also going to bump up to 0.66. So let's go ahead and do that to the other one. There we go, and now we have a really quite cute composition here. I also want to make one that's like white as well. And you can always go back into any of the toolbars and change up anything that you want. So I think that looks really quite cute. What do you all think? All right, this one is going to be really quite easy. You just inflate it, change up the lighting on it. The lighting is going to come all the way back over this way to -66. The intensity, I'm going to make it quite intense. There's also ambient light, which is going to make this look a lot softer. So I increase the ambient light up to about 85%. Increase the depth of it by just a smidge. Rotate it ever so slightly. Now for this circle down here, I'm going to do a very simple extrude. This one's going to extrude horizontally, if you will, but I don't want that to happen. I want it to extrude in a completely different space. Rotate it and inflate it. And I'm going to pull it into place. I do want the depth to be much more than 50. Let's make it 89. So now it's like in a little plant pot. And now we can go ahead and mess with the lighting. Let's just do standard. I know we do standard a lot, but standard is so much easier to manipulate than the others. Bring the intensity up, bring the height up slightly so that more light is coming on top of the little disc here. Increase the intensity a little bit of the ambient light, and I'm gonna increase the softness. So you can see my numbers right here. The light, I also want to change the color of. I'm gonna make it more of like an ambient yellow light, if you will. There we go. Duplicate that hex code. Let's go back into our bamboo and change the color of the lighting, just so it gives it more of that ambient color lighting. For materials for the plant pot, there is a natural plywood in here that I was dying to use and I want to use it. There's lots of different ways and lots of different avenues you can go about utilizing the different types of textures and different types of grains in here. I'm going to change up the colors ever so slightly. All like the veining and the wood roughness and stuff like that. I'm going to bring the roughness down quite a bit actually, because I don't want the deep grooves. I'd rather it to be more soft. And I'm going to add a bevel to this. I want it to be a rounded bevel, so that way it makes it a little bit more softer as far as an object goes. And so now we have our cute little plant pot of a bamboo. So there's lots that you can do here with this new 3D selections and options in Illustrator. You can make any kind of composition that you want. And if you do create your own, go ahead and post it on social media and tag me with hashtag 3D art objects. I will see it and I will showcase the ones that I think are doing really, really well. If you all liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Also leave in the comments down below anything that you want to see as far as like illustration, design, Photoshop work, anything like that. I will see you all in my next video. See you soon, creatives.